What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another highly combustible reaction. We're jumping into something awesome. This country is 17% fake from Jay and Mark. Get over show Jay and Mark all the love in the world. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Netherlands. We know that there has been a lot of back and forth with you guys in Poseidon, and you've decided that you're going to claim some land for yourself. We know that that's the case. We know about a lot of those things, but I'm always open to learning more, and I've heard that it's hilarious. So let's jump in. Shout out to Annalie for the request. Let's see what we got.
There's a saying in Dutch, God schept de aarde, maar de Nederlander schept in Nederland. Another saying in Dutch is, wij smachten naar 88 prachtige nachten bij 88 prachtige grachten. Today's program is about how the Netherlands picked a fight with the sea and won. Welkom bij Kaartmannen. Wij zijn de mannen and here is de kaart.
Kart, mannen, kart, mannen, kart, 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 mannen, mannen.
If you spend an afternoon browsing Holland, the Netherlands on satellite view, you'll notice something a little odd.
Good on them for pointing out all of these little things, for having all these little nuances. I already know right from the jump that it's going to be great.
Afternoon browsing Holland, the Netherlands on satellite view, you'll notice something a little odd. This bit looks pretty normal and European. Lots of green, lots of zigzaggy roads, lots of narrow fields at wonky angles.
But as soon as you cross this road, the countryside suddenly turns unusually light brown, with unusually rigid, perfect rectangles and houses spaced out with uncanny, soulless regularity.
Curiosity piqued, you turn the clock back to 1945, and it's gone.
Curiosity peaked further.
That is really kind of a cool way to see it. I never even thought about looking at the old kind of back in the day data. Can you just reverse it back that far?
You compare a map of present-day Netherlands to one from 1300 and notice that a whopping 7,000 square kilometres of land, roughly 17% of the whole country, has been conjured out of thin water.
What would you like to know first, how or why?
Why?
Because I thought it was polite to ask.
Why?
Here's why.
Thousands of years ago, when settlers came to these low or nether lands, they found fertile soil, plentiful fish stocks, and abundant water resources.
But there was a catch.
The lowness of the land meant that the coastline kept changing. One year the coastline was here, the next year it was here, and the year after that it was here.
This level of unpredictability of wetness was no way to live.
And so, to keep their feet dry, the Dutch took action.
They invented clogs?
No. First, they...
I mean, that was a good step, right? Maybe with some clogs that are big enough, you could probably walk on water. Clogs that are bigger than that are called canoes. I love the humor that is woven throughout it. It's the best way to learn. I'm saying people like this need to be inside of the classroom.
built dikes. Dikes are big walls to stop water going where it oughtn't. If you put them next to wet things like rivers and lakes, you can stay dry on the other side of them.
Next, they built windmills. If you put an Archimedes screw in the water and connect it to a windmill, when the blades turn, the screw scoops the water out, turning into useful dry land for growing plants and cows.
These patches of
we're just growing cows now, huh? We're just planting the seed.
were called polders.
The Dutch put hundreds of little polders everywhere and became the nation that was best at land reclamation in the world.
Whilst the thousands of
Just over 1,000
windmills across the landscape were very pretty and became Dutch icons like bikes, Edam, tulips, stroopwafels, sensible urban planning, sex shows, chocolate sprinkles and Deal or No Deal, they were not enough. And the sea fought back.
The problem was specifically this. The Zuiderzee is an inlet of the North Sea, taking a roughly...
But thanks to Cornelis Lely, we fixed that problem, right? In the Afsluitdijk. I know that's what's coming.
2,000
I
square
could predict
miles
these
scoop out of
things.
the north of the Netherlands, though its size did vary due to tides and storms.
Why are we talking about a sea in the past tense?
You'll see.
Because it's...
Everything about the Zuiderzee made it the worst possible sea to live next door to if you didn't like being flooded.
The Zuiderzee broke through the dikes and flooded people's homes practically every 5 minutes, and there was no windmill in the world, not even one that span really, really fast, that could stop it. But there was a man who thought he could.
Cornelis Lely was a student of civil engineering
I just called that. I just...
at the Polytechnic School of Delft, who absolutely
Tell
hated
me
the
we
sea.
haven't learned.
And this is a picture of the sea.
His dream was to get rid of the sea once and for all. And it turned out he wasn't
This is a
alone.
brilliant recreation.
Various visionaries had all come up with variations of the same idea, to build an enormous dam across the Zuiderzee and turn it into a harmless lake full of polders, dramatically shortening the nation's coastline. Of course, none of them ever came close to being built. They were little more than fantastically unrealistic concept art.
But Cornelis, with his engineering expertise, realised that with modern 19th century technology and building materials, this dream dam was actually technically possible.
Cornelis Lely got to work on a plan that was full of real-world detail, like hydrological data to calculate the best possible position for the dam, a sluicing system to let the fresh water out from the rivers, a list of the construction materials, and, perhaps cleverest of all, a survey of seabed sediment, so the new polders would be located where the soil would be as profitable as possible.
To make his unhinged dream to delete the sea become a reality, Cornelis went into politics and was soon appointed Minister for Transport and Water Management. He was now finally ready to submit his Zuiderzee Works master plan before Parliament.
But Parliament turned it down. Cornelis's dam was too damn expensive, and they worried that fishermen whose livelihoods depended on catching saltwater fish would lose their livelihoods.
No fish for sale here!
It seemed Cornelis's dream was dead in the water. Until...
Love Sunday lunch. Conversations with the family. Not anymore. All because of Surfshark VPN.
Yo, this is the most brilliant cutaway damn advertisement of all time.
The sponsor of this video. It's available with one account on an unlimited number of devices. So the conversation's over. Look at June. She's watching content from a streaming service not available in the UK, and one of Surfshark's over 3,000 servers in over 100 countries. There's Monty, using Surfshark to encrypt his data to avoid age restrictions.
Isn't this just the way that it is nowadays, family dinner?
So he can look at goodness.
We weren't allowed. Your cell phone was not allowed to come with you to the kitchen table. You better leave it somewhere else till dinner's over.
Was what?
Dinner was family time.
And my wife? She's shopping for holidays using region-specific pricing with discounts that are only available abroad. Wish I'd never signed up to Surfshark by going to surfshark.com/mapmen and entering the code MAPMEN to get an extra 4 months for free.
Oh, stop going on about Surfshark. You blame it for all your problems. Can't find your socks? Surfshark hid them. Roast pork tastes disgusting. Surfshark cooked it. Accrington Stanley lost the match. Surfshark was playing. Surfshark, Surfshark, Surfshark. Morning, noon and night.
Love Sunday lunch. Conversation with the family.
It was brilliant.
Oh, sorry. It seemed Cornelis's dream was dead in the water. Until, in January 1916, the Netherlands saw their worst flood in hundreds of years.
The Dutch were used to floods, of course, but this one was particularly bad timing because of the First World War.
I thought the Netherlands were neutral for World War I.
Yes, but their neighbours absolutely
Yeah,
weren't.
but it was raging on all around them.
Germany, Belgium, France and Britain were so busy fighting, they stopped all international trade, and that meant the Dutch had to rely entirely on the food.
I was so happy that he is holding a damn carrot. The Dutch and their orange carrots is still probably the most fascinating thing that we've ever learned. Considering we're all born on this side of the world to think that carrots are orange. And it was your doing. You did it. All of you did it. Still wild in my brain. Perfect vegetable to be holding
from
on
their own
to.
farms.
So the flood didn't just destroy homes, it caused a massive food shortage both during and after the disaster. The Dutch were homeless, hungry and wet. In these conditions, Lely's plan didn't seem quite so unhinged after all.
And so, in 1927, 36 years after he first proposed it, Cornelis finally began work on the AlphaTyler.
AlphaTyler.
The dike was completed ahead of schedule in 1932.
AlphaTyler. That's probably how I would have tried to say it at first.
At 20 miles long, or 32 kilometres if you insist, it was the longest dike the world had ever seen. The Zuiderzee was a zee no more. It was now a mere, the IJsselmeer.
And now that the water was calm and shallow, they were ready to build the biggest polders the world had ever seen.
Hundreds of farmers moved in to start their new lives working the land straight away. But then something went wrong. Because the polder was below sea level, it was lower than the mainland, causing groundwater to flow into it and sucking the former coastland dry. This made it much less fertile and much less productive.
So for the next one in 1950, they changed the design.
The next polder was built in 2 stages with a thin, watery gap to make it much easier to manage the water table. This meant that the Flevoland polder was technically the largest artificial island in the world, a record no one's come close to beating since.
So, overall, was Cornelis Lely's Zuiderzee Works project a success?
In every way imaginable, yes.
Yes.
When the next massive storm came in
Absolutely.
December 1953, the structure held back the sea and prevented what would have been catastrophic flooding. The Afsluitdijk paid for itself in one night.
And it's paid for itself 1,000 times more since. The value of the new polders to the Dutch economy is 20 billion euros a year.
And as for food security, it went so much further than necessary. It gave the Netherlands a massive food surplus, quickly becoming the world's second largest food exporter behind only the United States.
Pretty impressive for the densest country in Europe.
Fifth densest country in Europe.
Densest proper country in Europe.
Lely's plan was so successful it even solved other problems it wasn't meant to solve, including one for Dutch drivers. Right on top of the Afsluitdijk, engineers built a motorway in the middle of the sea, allowing drivers to whiz from HxCReact to Hippolytuzhoef in just 35 minutes. With breathtaking views of the sea and a
What the
dead
hell
straight...
did he just pronounce it? From where to where?
On top of the Afsluitdijk, engineers built a motorway in the middle of the sea, allowing drivers to whiz from HxCReact to Hippolytuzhoef in just 35 minutes. With breathtaking views...
Is that really the names of those? How come we never heard the names of those places before?
of the sea in a dead straight line.
See, I knew we was gonna learn something.
A cruise along the A7 motorway is simultaneously the most thrilling and most boring drive in the world.
The Zuiderzee Works also changed the lives
No, try driving through the Utah salt flats. That's the most long and roaring drive in the world.
Most thrilling and most boring drive in the world.
The Zuiderzee Works also changed the lives of the people of Urk.
Urk, for most of its existence, was an island right in the middle of the Zuiderzee, isolated from the rest of the country. But now, thanks to the new polder, you could just drive there on the Urkeweg.
Although oddly, the Urkeweg hasn't stopped Urk from still behaving like an island. Even today, it's famous for being more conservative and religious than the rest of the Netherlands, and they still have their own dialect that most Dutch people don't understand.
Excuse me, do you have the time?
Of all the
I
impact
think I would be a little bit weirded out. To be like, oh, hey, we live on this island. This is how we've lived for however many years, and now all of a sudden you're not an island anymore. That would definitely change
of
something.
Lely's project, the biggest was one he could never have predicted. As the Dutch population exploded, but their borders didn't, the country was in desperate need of more space for people to live on. Suddenly, Flevoland, first intended as a giant flood barrier that could maybe house a few farms, became prime real estate.
Like Almere, which is by every measurement you can think of the Dutch Milton Keynes.
The population on these polders increased so much that in 1986 Flevoland was officially turned into the 12th province of the Netherlands, with its own local government, coat of arms, and flag terced in fest with 3 horizontal bands, a superior azure field, an inferior vert field, and a medial of reduced breadth, its waveform hoistwood half transitioning to a rectilinear flywood edge, with a stylised argent fleur-de-lis occupying the upper hoist quarter.
So,
No, but be honest, nobody just understood anything that was just said about it. It was said in such an elegant way. It almost didn't even sound like English.
Linear flywood edge, with a stylised argent fleur-de-lis occupying the upper hoist quarter.
so what did Cornelis Lely make of all of the Zuiderzee Works' phenomenal success?
Nothing. Cornelis Lely completely died in 1929, before even the Afsluitdijk was finished, meaning he never saw
Didn't
any of
even
his
get
plans
to
come
see it.
true and never had any idea how much he'd transformed his whole country.
But he's fondly commemorated today by the people of the province he accidentally created. They named their capital city after him and turned him into a statue, where he stands on the Afsluitdijk to this day, staring out at the choppy waters of the North Sea.
The Dutch had proven themselves the masters of land reclamation, literally
True.
laying the groundwork and showing the rest of the world how it's done.
Which inspired the rest of the world to give land reclamation a go themselves, and for all sorts of different useful reasons. 1. Airports. If your land is too lumpy for a runway, simply put it in the sea. The Japanese do it all the time. Kansai, Chubu, Nagasaki.
2. Playing geopolitics. China built islands in the middle of what they now call the South China Sea, so that they're technically able to claim the sea around it.
3. Adding extra space to coastal cities with no other direction to expand. Examples include the Maldives, Singapore and Hong, to name but 2.5.
And 4. Because they can.
Dubai, the city of brute force superlatives, has sprinkled dozens of artificial islands along its coast for luxury resorts and hotels, despite having no shortage of space inland for sensible suburbs.
The Palm Jumeirah is a beautiful place, though. I've actually got to go there and stay on the island. Pretty beautiful.
Land reclamation today is
Man-made
increasing
but
all over
beautiful.
the world. Everybody's doing it. Jakarta,
Shanghai,
Manila,
Lagos,
Boston,
Vancouver,
Macau.
Mumbai. So does that mean that land reclamation is the solution to all of society's problems? And will the Netherlands of 2125 look like this?
Well, no.
Land reclamation only makes sense if the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, and the disadvantages are numerous. It's really expensive, requires huge amounts of sand,
Which the world is running out of.
it needs constant maintenance to stop it sinking, and worst of all, it upsets the fish.
There's used to be water over there, now it's all gone, hasn't it?
That's true, yeah, we used to like going there.
The sediment over there was lovely sediment.
Oh, yeah, the sediment.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
That's my favourite bit. I used to say that.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
With the well-being of the world more on the
This
world's
is the
mind than ever,
greatest video
even the Dutch,
ever.
the original masters of land reclamation, seem to have gone off the idea. The final polder from Cornelis Lely's original plan, Mach,
I like that name.
was cancelled in 2003, despite the dike already being built, making it a sort of lake within a lake. Today, it's used as a freshwater reservoir and nature reserve. Perhaps the oddest thing about the process of building land in the sea where there wasn't land before is the word we use for it. Reclaimed? It makes it sound like we're taking back from the sea what's rightfully ours.
The truth is a lot more opposite. If no one was there to press the right sluice buttons and maintain the dams, the sea would quickly reclaim what it sees as
Absolutely
rightfully
true.
its.
Perhaps the best way to prepare for the future is for humans to learn how to live underwater.
Ready to start practicing?
As they say in Dutch, ik ga mijn hoofd in een emmer water steken.
Sick of kitchen grease stains? Overwhelmed by limescale? Then give your kitchen that sparkling new look with This Way Up, When Maps Go Wrong and Why It Matters, the debut book from the creators of Map Men. This book is jam-packed full of fascinating facts and sensational stories that cuts through stubborn stains in seconds. With its rigorously researched and fantastically funny chapters, This Way Up When Maps Go Wrong easily tackles greasy surfaces with so much extra detail that only a book can provide. This Way Up When Maps Go Wrong contains the world's biggest and worst map blunders, leaving your kitchen up to 19% germ-free and smelling exactly as it did before.
Jay, why haven't you cleaned up all this mess?
Oh, sorry, I got so engrossed in this book, This Way Up When Maps Go Wrong, that I forgot to finish cleaning.
But the Lord Mayor is coming round. Hello?
Ah, hello chaps. Just calling to say I'm not coming round anymore. I've decided instead to stay home and read this brilliant book called This Way Up When Maps Go Wrong from the creators of Map Men.
Well, thanks for letting us know. Can you do tomorrow instead?
No, I'm busy tomorrow.
Tuesday?
I can't do Tuesday.
How about Wednesday?
I can do Wednesday.
See you on Wednesday then, Lord Mayor.
This Way Up, When Maps Go Wrong and Why It Matters. Available now.
Everything about this whole video was brilliant. Even the advertisements were a joy to watch. Never have I sat through 2 advertisements before in a video, I don't think. Not without pressing that skip button or fast forwarding it down there at the bottom. This was genius. And what a damn amazing way to learn. Get over and show them all the love in the world. Jay and Mark, the links inside the description. We definitely learned some new things. A lot of information that we already knew because the Dutch are very innovative people and we have learned their entire history. There are some things that it never hurts to freshen up. It never hurts to try to learn new things. There's still things that I even just taught people in the Discord this morning that I knew more than them about. And they're Dutch. The like button if you liked it, the dislike button, but I won't believe you. Tell the next one of my Combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe. I love you to the moon and back. Peace.